live from San Francisco, California at Black Sands Brewery. My name is Ashley Bilodeau with Brew TV, and I am here with Cole, MD. Cole, thank you so much for having us here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
So you're in wonderful Lower Haight, San Francisco. You've been a beer enthusiast for years. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on here at Black Sands Brewery?
What's going on here is we brew small batch beers. We have a full kitchen, a full bar, and we really like to pride ourselves on just being a neighborhood spot for people. Families can come with our outdoor seating. You can see we have kids, dogs, a little bit of something for everyone, even if you're not a beer lover.
So how long have you guys been around? I personally have spent plenty of time in the Lower Haight and have seen you guys kind of building the spot up. Not only are you a brewery, but you have access to education for home brewers. You've got a kitchen. When did this all start? When did doors open?
Doors opened officially, soft opening in July of 2015, and then fully open August 2015. So we're rolling into about our 14th or 15th month. And then we added one extra day, so we used to be closed Monday, Tuesday, and now it's 6 days a week.
6 days a week. That's amazing. So we're looking at a beautiful setup behind us. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're brewing here? And we were talking off screen earlier about the gift you gave yourself in making that 1 year milestone. What's going on behind us?
So back here behind us, we have a 3-barrel system. It's all from stout. It's 100% electric. We have 3-barrel fermenters, so roughly about 100-gallon batches each. And then the 7-barrel fermenter is what we were talking about. It's our 1 year gift to ourselves. And we double batch into that. And that fermenter is actually dedicated to Saisons only. So it doesn't have any glycol hooked up to it. We have no temperature control, which is something we wanted to move towards, was always having a Saison on draft. So that's our dedicated Saison tank, and it's just 100% ambient fermentation. So there's no glycol controlling fermentation on that. So we just make 2 batches back to back, 2 days in a row, same recipe, pitch the yeast on the first batch, and then just let it ride, and it gets sometimes into the mid-80s, sometimes upper 80s on fermentation.
San Francisco has a lot of microclimates, so it's interesting to see how you're going to control that. But so you are yourself, and there's another person involved in the brewery, a co-founder. Is that correct? Who is he? And can you tell us a little bit about him and how you guys got into this?
Yeah. So there's 4 partners, myself, and then the person we're talking about is a man by the name of Andrew Gilliland, who I grew up with in Cleveland, Ohio. And he and I came out to San Francisco after college, started home brewing, got really into beer. You know, we're going to like Magnolia and trying out beers. And so there's only one other homebrew shop in San Francisco. And so after we had been homebrewing for a long time, I actually ended up moving over to New York City. But we had always been talking about, what do we want to do? Let's get into this industry. We really like homebrewing. Why don't we open a homebrew shop? San Francisco seems like a good place if there's only one other shop. And so we just kind of started talking about the idea of opening this homebrew shop with a little brewery inside of it. And we would just have as a weekend project, sort of, we keep our day jobs thing. And then it slowly evolved. We met some other business partners who eventually came on board, and now you see the whole thing. So we have the shop right next door, the whole brewery, and then a whole bar and kitchen. You've got
a trifecta of amazing things happening here. From the homebrew shop right to our right, our viewers left, and then a chef. So how did you find the food part? Because San Francisco is such a food city. How did that happen? And maybe we can go say hello to the guy behind the scenes?
We can try. I don't know. He's running around like a crazy man today, like he normally is. But we can go inside.
Let's take a break and check out the homebrew shop. Let's show the viewers what's going on in the back.
Let's do it.
So all of you that would be inspired to create your own brews, San Francisco has an option here at Black Sands Brewery, and you can do it yourself. So tell us a little bit about this. What can the local community do when they're popping by and starting not only with some of these hops, but it sounds like from what we know, you guys actually put out courses and teach people how to brew their own beer. Is that correct?
That's right. So the way we kind of pitch Black Sands is like we're very community based. we're very open source when it comes to beer making. It comes to trying to transition from maybe a home brewer into commercial brewing, or to try and open a restaurant or something like that. So we give all the recipes away. We teach classes once a month. We teach the class right next door, right where we were sitting. Class is $50. We teach everyone all grain brewing because that's kind of like how we make beer, and so we want people to encourage them to make beer in the same way that we do. And everyone always tries to go all grain when they're going from home brewing. So
that's a journey. So show us some of the things that are going on here. We've got a bunch of different hops hanging out and some mulch.
So some of our grains. This is like the specialty grain you have here. On the other side, you have the base, and then back there's all of our hops and yeast. This is a refrigerator, so you got to keep your hops and yeast refrigerated, preserve them longer. Over on the right over here is one of our class beers, actually. So that's the beer from our previous class from this month. So our next class is in 2 weeks. And that's a smash beer. So we brew a lot of smash beers. They're very popular with home brewers. Smash is single malt and single hop. So it's like the cheese pizza of beer, right? It's the fewest ingredients to make beer. And we like to start there for people, because most people who take our class it's an introduction. It's the first time they've seen it. So we try not to over.
Yeah, you don't want to be overwhelmed, and to jump into something that you're not quite sure of. It's a nice place to start. So, do you offer education that can take it to the next level if you want to move out of the smash brew, if you really want to get creative and start doing some blended projects? Is that, or are you guys just keeping it on an introductory level, and then of course, if you want amazing beer, you could have Black Sands brews yourself. So just curious about that.
As far as the classes go, we keep it on an introductory basis, but we also have a lot of those people who take the class, they come back in, they buy a kit. We make these little 1-gallon kits for people, which are also smash beers. But when they come back in, and they're like, okay, I want to try a stout, or I want to try something else, other than like a hoppy beer, which is usually what we start with because they're a little simpler. We're here to do that. We're here to service them in whatever brewing endeavor they want. I think we're more of like kind of that just give them the bug, show them how to do it. Just trying to take away the sort of intimidation of it, because people get intimidated easily sometimes about home brewing. It's like, it's easy. Just, you can make soup, or you can make a pot of oatmeal. You can
make beer as well. Yeah. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So, you guys have been having a fantastic year, going on almost a year and a half. Where do you see it going? This is amazing. It's a wonderful shop. Are you happy staying here? Do you see it scaling out and distributing? From a personal perspective and as a co-founder, where do you see it all going?
There's a couple of aspects. The shop is going to stay here. 2 things we're working on are expansion and distribution. So right now, with what we have next door, that's enough to supply this location. But we have people asking us every week, when can we get the beer? When can we get the beer? So we want to be able to start finding those other bars and restaurants that are asking for the product. So goal number 1 is to start distributing. But to do that, we are probably going to start contracting here locally. Can't say who yet, but it's in the city. And once we get that going, that'll probably be most of 17. We're going to contract brew as much as we can, probably a select styles, 2 or 3 beers rotating, build up the accounts, and then also in the works, I can't say exactly where, but here in the city, it'll be potentially another location where we'll be another basically copy of what we have here, but bigger. So another restaurant, another brewing facility, but bigger. They'll actually be able to take over supplying the restaurant and supplying some of the accounts. Helping
with that scale, right? And really being able to take it to the next level. Yeah. Let's talk about marketing. This is a super competitive space. Brewing is such a competitive space, whether it be, as a home brewer to, well-known brands. What are you guys doing to let people know you exist? And do you put yourself into a GBF? And is that an important piece of the story, or, are you going more grassroots, or maybe a bit of all?
Right now, we're pretty much advertising locally, with our newsletter. We have a lot of people. I think we're up over 2,300 Instagram followers. We have a couple pretty good Twitter presence, and we try and keep our social media pretty engaged. One of the other things is just really word of mouth. I mean, being in San Francisco, The community is small. Our chef is known, all over the city, so he brings in a lot of people just for his food. We're really active with the homebrewing community and the San Francisco Brewers Guild. So, personally, word of mouth for us is like the number one best marketing tool. But we try and engage our social media people. We try and host events. We do pop-ups on our day off, like on Monday, and we've been working on a lot of collaborations. We have some collaborations coming out, especially with Beer Week coming around. We're doing some more collaborations. So, and you know what? Word spreads fast here. When something good comes about, people find out about it. You don't have to work too hard.
Exactly. When it's good, if you build it, they will come. And this is a fantastic brewery. So before we sign off, can we walk into the brewery? Can you show us a few things that are on tap and so the folks can see exactly what is going on the other side of the house? He's going to close the garage because there's amazing homebrew supply there and nobody wants to run off with that. So also beautiful street art, San Francisco way, keeping everything gorgeous.
From our owner, Andy. He's our designer and also one of our co-owners, and he designs all of our T-shirts like the one I'm wearing. He painted the garage. He did the mural in this.
It's a very stunning place. A lot of times you see breweries and they're kind of, rustic and so on and so forth, but you got a cutting edge to it, but it's still approachable. So well done, and well done to him as well. So, all right. So if we go to Black Sands Brewery, where do we order a beer?
Best place to get a beer is just got to walk up to these bartenders and we have a little menu board behind that, but we do a big education not only for our community with the homebrew and stuff, but all of our staff are really knowledgeable on our products. They go through an entire Black Sands University program to learn about everything that we do, from beer making to food making to craft cocktails. Everything we touch is about, educating our consumers, but also our staff. We want to make sure everyone knows what's going on, from craft coffee, craft cocktails, craft beer, artisanal food, locally stuff. So
amazing. It looks just right over here. So let's take a quick look and see what's on tap. A lot of people hanging out. It looks like you're doing very well. So here's the board. What are you guys brewing right now? What if people in the neighborhood want to pop by tomorrow or next week? What's on tap?
Right now we have our Black Rye IPA. That's the Midnight Rye. The Mosaic just switched over to the El Dorado. That's the beer I'm drinking. That's our Smash El Dorado. And so we try and keep a smash beer on all the time. And we're focused on taking that homebrew aspect but applying it to a commercial application. So we always try and have a smash beer. So Smash El Dorado is 100% El Dorado hops and Vienna malt. And then we have our King's Tide Saison and Course Correction Session IPA. So very hop-forward brewery. Pretty much there's always 2 or 3 IPAs and always a Saison on draft.
Always a Saison on draft and a lot of IPAs. Well, we love IPAs at Brew TV. And before we sign off, let's just check out the kitchen, because with every good brew should come some good food too. So we'll just take a peek here. What sort of things come out of the kitchen as folks are hanging out, drinking beer, and getting a little hungry?
I mean, the kitchen's always changing and evolving. We try and keep stuff seasonal, so Brussels sprouts are in season. This was a dish that we did last year. It was just like a quick flash fry and some actually hop-seasoned salt goes on top as a finishing. So Brussels sprouts are back. We always have a killer burger. We have a lot of share plates, like some slow-cooked pork ribs, house pickles, olives. There's always something new and different that Eric comes up with, and then there's always those constant staples like burger and fried chicken sandwich. So
that's amazing. Well, let's give it up to Black Sands Brewery and a phenomenal launch, and may the best brews be with you. And thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it, Cole.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.